Hey everybody, it's Tripl-L, and now let's talk My Hero Academia, chapter 163. So, this chapter was kind of weird for me. Just there were a few little weird things going on, and it's predominantly doing with Todoroki's general weird behavior before you get the reveal, and then the person that shows up at the end of the chapter. So what we're gonna do, I really want to start talking with the Kamie situation. Just get right into that, but the points that I also want to cover for this one, the Kamie situation, the funniness that I was having with Todoroki, what they were saying about Aizawa helping out, doing something for the school, and oh, of course the Kirishima and the Ashiro moment, that was pretty good. This is a shipping based channel, we should acknowledge that one. And I think there were some other, oh yeah, Kurogiri. When you look at this chapter, there were a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of things that were being slowly pushed forward before we get into what will actually be, I assume, what we're going to be dealing with for at least the next 3 chapters. You know, maybe not 3 chapters. You could probably just deal with this little mini arc of Bakugo and Todoroki in 2 chapters, 3 chapters. Any other points that I really need to remember to cover before we get into it? The general good feels from the other students saying hi to their friends. I mean, there's a lot of nice moments in that giant group shot. I really enjoyed it. Well, if you really like the characters, seeing them interact is probably one of the nicest things we could get. Anyway, let's just get into it. Let's start off with the Toga Kamie situation. So, this is odd, right? Initially, the initial assumption when we're going in and we know that Toga is Kamie, the initial assumption is that this girl went missing. This girl is, gone. Toga destroyed her. But now I'm kind of wondering the logistics of this, right? Because we know Toga has not been at that school, Shiketsu, for a long time. We know that she was absent, pretty much. And yet, here Kamie is acting as a student. When you look at the fact that Toga was away from school for the period that she was dealing with the Yakuza, and for any period that she has to deal with Shigaraki's forces, would the common assumption not be that there's no one at Shiketsu taking up Kamie's spot? And if that's so, wouldn't Shiketsu at some point be kind of suspicious that there's a student in their hero course that is absent? It's kind of odd. And now, just for extra information, I made a quick search to find out how many cups of blood are in someone's body usually, because we know that Toga's quirk works on the basis of her. We know Toga's quirk works like 1 cup is equal to 1 day worth of action as another person. So from that information, the upper estimate for how much blood would be in someone's body is about 5.5, I believe. And that's how much I tried to 5.5 liters, and I converted that into cups, and we get 23 cups. Roughly. If it's 23 cups, that's 23 days. If we assume that Toga's only active for half of the day, or for the standard 10 hours that she's at school, the first hour to get there, the 8 hours at the school, the hour to get out, not counting any extra training, we can assume that she has the Kamie transformation for 46 days. What I ultimately really want to say is that Kamie might be Toga's sister, or related to her in some fashion, such that they switch out whenever one wants to do the switch. Now, this is a pretty crazy theory, but the idea here being, it's just kind of weird because we don't know the time frames that Toga is playing in, because otherwise, if she is going to Shiketsu, and if she is going to Shiketsu enough such that the school wants to put Kamie through this provisional training course, it must mean that Kamie is a relatively high standing student in the school. And if Toga's been masquerading as her long enough for her to actually still be a viable candidate to come get provisional license training, then wouldn't they be aware of the quirk difference? If Toga's going to school, a hero-based school, should they not be training her quirk enough such that she would get ousted immediately if it was found out that that wasn't Kamie's original quirk, right? Because of that, for me, it would make sense if Kamie is still there and Toga is just switching in whenever she wants. And, maybe if they're sisters, they could just be like that. Of course, pretty far. It's a pretty big crack theory. It's a pretty good crack theory. There's not enough evidence here, but at the very least, if Kamie is dead, Toga only has that Kamie transformation for 46 days at maximum. And if Kamie is dead, Toga has unexplained absences from the school where she could say that she was sick. And next up, we know that Eraserhead and Izuku saw that Toga's quirk is transforming. Therefore, we should expect, okay, maybe Izuku didn't tell anyone, but we should expect that Aizawa got debriefed. We saw that there was actually a full debriefing segment. There's no reason to believe that Aizawa and all his intelligence did not mention to, I guess, the pool of information that Toga has the ability to masquerade as other people. He saw that firsthand. He should have given that information, and that information should have gotten to all of the, the important authority figures within the My Hero Academia world who know that they're being targeted. And we know that the high school students are being targeted. Yeah, maybe Shiketsu didn't really care too much since their school hasn't been hit by the Villain Alliance, but that's still information that's good to have on record, on files, on dossiers, So, I don't know. This whole Toga situation, Kamie being there, and given Toga's recent activity patterns, I don't think it really makes sense that Toga has not been found out yet. And again, for her to be at the license training tells me that Shiketsu cares enough about Kamie that they think it's worthwhile to push her through. Now, mind you, to me, it doesn't really make sense if this idea isn't true, but it really wouldn't be that hard for the author to justify it. And, he could justify it any which way. So, I'm not going to put too much stock in it, but I am going to put my hat in the ring, and I'm going to say that this is the real Kamie. I'm going to go against a popular idea, and let's see if that shakes out all right. If you guys have any other ideas that you want to throw in there, or if you saw that I overlooked something, or maybe I'm taking things too seriously, let me know down below. It's a discussion. I love reading your comments, so let me know. That said, I did look just really quickly through the previous manga chapters, and this is just another thing for the crack theory. I saw that Kamie's eyes were drawn differently many times compared to the one that we get at the end of the chapter with her face and all that. So, there's also that. Anyway, I'm excited to see how this goes. I'm excited to see whether or not Kamie passes. And, yeah. Also, it'd be really, really messed up if Shiketsu actually had a villain masquerading as the principal of that school, and that was justifying Toga's appearance there. Anyway, moving on. The next point to talk about, let's go for... Yeah, you know what? Aizawa. Let's go for Aizawa. So, in the chapter, we do find out that Aizawa can't do his regular duties because he's off doing something for the school. Alright, that's the most important line there. He's doing something for the school. The reason I'm excited about that line is because it was then linked to Eri, because they're going to be using his quirk for something, most likely using it to control Eri if she goes out of control, which means if it's for the school, Eri's going to be the next UA nurse. That's what I'm seeing. I think that would be amazing. It would let UA protect them. Maybe she'll move into the dorms where Izuku and buddies live. Hey, it'd be great. Eri could be the new mascot of My Hero Academia and, take over the spot from Izuku's shoes. That would be amazing. Okay? I'm so excited about that. I'm glad that they gave us that little bit of information. That was amazing. Again, I'm saying amazing a lot, but I'm pretty excited about it. That said, there's really... The most valuable piece of dialogue there, like I said, is that they premise it with him doing something for the school. That's exciting. I want to see how this whole Eri project's going to work out. Eri is such a valuable asset and such a dangerous weapon in the wrong hands. I think this line of thought, putting her under some kind of protective custody, or man, there's a term for this. Anyway, yeah, putting her under protective custody, I think that would be great. Moving on, going away from that, and yeah, Endeavor and All Might. So with this, when you see all these different moving parts, you can see that the author is setting up all these different plot elements that he kind of wants to address. Like already in this arc, we may be getting further clarification on the Toga Kamie switch, and now we're getting further, I guess, closure on the Eri Aizawa, or at least like a step of progression in regards to that idea. And then with Endeavor, it looks like we may be making some kind of steps towards Endeavor accepting the fall of All Might. We know that he took it really hard. Endeavor does have a weird relationship with All Might, and seeing it fleshed out a little bit more, I would enjoy that. And since we're speaking of Endeavor, with Todoroki acting so strangely in this chapter, I was like halfway thinking, Todoroki, did you get replaced by someone? Why are you having such menacing thoughts? And it's funny, right? It's especially because like I recently made the Kamie trader theory, and I've been reading up on all the trader theories to make more videos for them. So now my mind is just like, I'm looking for any little thing that could be a trader theory. Heck, I see that Bakugo went to sleep at 8:32, and I'm just thinking, what can I do with that time? Why is he showing us that time? Is something gonna happen at 8:32? But no, see, like this is not the way to think about things. This is pretty crazy. That said, it was funny that the menace that was in Todoroki's face was just because his dad was going to be watching him train. I mean, yeah, considering we've seen the Endeavor faces that he makes when Todoroki's doing something cool. I would be pretty embarrassed too. I'd be dreading having that kind of father watching me, and then just like he's the worst kind of supportive parent, because you know he's gonna shout it out at the top of his lungs if Shoto like hits someone in the face with a ball of fire and ice. You know it's gonna happen. That said, it was cool to see that was the plot twist. Thank God that was a plot twist. Moving on, next point to cover. Man, I said all these at the beginning and now I'm forgetting. Oh no, Kirishima and Mina. Yeah, okay, that was amazing. Guys, did you see that? It was like just one page of Mina asking, hey, are you okay? And him saying like, you know, I have a long way to go. And her like, I see, but playing it really cool because he was playing with a rabbit. I thought that was really nice. That was cool. Man, I was totally into that. That said, it is funny how quickly like the character interactions ramp up after we've been told they have a common past. I mean, that's just a little thing, but I liked it. I thought that was good. Speaking of their shared past, now we can talk about Giganto. And we find out that that Gran Torino did the most intelligent thing and he ran away. Like, I think, yeah, I mentioned this last chapter. When you're faced off in that kind of situation, running away is really the best thing you can do. And the fact that they caught Kurogiri, yeah, that feels kind of good. But, man, holy, I'm so scared for anyone that's holding Kurogiri right now, because Kurogiri, as far as we are aware, is Shigaraki's last support system. I doubt that Shigaraki's gonna let Kurogiri get out of his grasp. It's not gonna be good, man. It's not gonna be pretty. Either that or Kurogiri getting caught was part of the plan. I don't know. At the very, like, we may be going into a situation, like worst case scenario, Kurogiri goes into Tartarus. I think that's the name of that jail. Like, the chapter title is Tartarus Greeting. Anyway, he goes to the jail. He has some kind of weird mechanism in his body, and then he uses that said weird mechanism to bust everyone out of the jail. That would suck, man. That would not be anything that anyone wants to see. But it's pretty dangerous. Having such a high value villain in custody is dangerous, because we do not know how unhinged Shigaraki is and how unhinged he's willing to go to get Black Mist back. We just don't know, and that's pretty exciting. We know that the jail's holding All For One. Like, All For One's gonna have to get out of there someday. You know, if this is the way that it happens with Kurogiri in jail, well, good game, guys. Good game. That said, going back to Giganto, we just got to see some hype up for him. Again, it's really good that Gran Torino and everyone else got out of that situation alive, but we saw that he demolished the wilderness. Alright, whatever. Man, I don't care. Whatever. Izuku could probably do that with a punch. It's not a big deal, man. Like, yeah, you showed me all these like incredible things. Yeah, Izuku pretty much beat an abomination, so I'm sure Izuku can beat like a rock-looking guy. It's not a big deal. This is like hard All Might level villains, right? That you need like 8 people stuffed into one body to be able to deal with this. So yeah, I'm pretty sure whenever this conflict's gonna come, it's gonna be painful for Izuku, but I think he can do it. I think he can beat him. Or maybe they'll be able to talk this guy out of it. Like, he seems like a relatively simple guy. Yeah, he's been indoctrinated by the most manipulative mind of the world, but I think it'll be okay. Moving on, and we're just gonna go and finish up with, I guess, just seeing all the students together. So there were a lot of nice little highlight moments in this, you know, seeing everyone come to greet their friends. We see Kamina's pretty distressed. He's crying a little bit. Guys, make of that what you will. We have the nice moments of Ochako and Tsuyu being hugged by Toru. We have that nice moment with Kirishima and Ashido. overall, like it was pleasant, and we also got that moment with Ida. It just shows more of him. Like he wants to do things by the book, but then when it's okay, he does have feelings too, and it's cool to see that dynamic popping up again. What other things do we got really going on? In that segment, it's just really like a lot of people looked really good. Like Momo looked really good, Ida looked really good, Izuku looked like Izuku. Ochiko also had a little moment where she's like, I want to save people. And depending on what side you're on with the theories, like, you know, maybe that's fuel to the fire, or maybe that's like something that says, no, she can't be whatever you think she is. That said, when I look at that statement, I want to save people, you know, it's because Ochiko pretty much had the person she was helping die on her, which you could expect would affect someone on a well, no, not on a relatively deep level, on a deep level. When she says that she wants to save people, I wonder if this is like the start of her moving away from her initial goal of wanting money. Because once people's lives get involved, you could see that initial declaration, like I want to be a hero for the money. You could see that initial declaration kind of falling away, and now she's coming into realizing that she's holding the weight of a life in her hands. We need to see how that statement's gonna work with her, because there's already a popular traitor theory going around with her, because people already are kind of skeptical of her, I guess, character. How she interprets this I want to save people, it's gonna be interesting. But then again, we know that she looks at Izuku with intense admiration. This line of thought is just maybe her just coming into her own as a hero. I do think when I see this is a movement from I want to be a hero for money to, oh my god, I'm responsible for someone else's well-being. I think that's the movement that we're seeing here. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna end it there, but like the last thing that I just remembered is that there was one more weird thing coming in with the Kamie situation, and this might actually point to it actually being Toga, and that is that Bakugo said that Kamie wasn't there before. I think that they've been going to these lessons for a while, but that wouldn't make sense given Todoroki's dialogue in terms of the context. That said, this context of the girl wasn't there before, does that mean if they had gone to these lessons before that she hasn't been attending the lessons? Or sorry, the lessons? Because that's really weird. Why would a school not be aware of where their absent student is? Oh, anyway, guys, I'm really excited to hear your ideas on this, and thanks for watching. Till next time, I hope you have an absolutely great day.